True. You can see Chicago skyline 50 miles across Lake Michigan. Should be hidden by 1,700 feet of earth curvature. There ain't no curvature. You can see that skyline. Tallest building in Chicago is the Sears Tower. It stands at 1,700 feet tall. You can see almost the entire building, but not only that one, you can also see 300, 400, 500-foot buildings. People are taking their zoom camera, right? They take it to the beach. Have you ever heard of ships disappearing beyond the horizon? Have you heard that? They take their zoom camera, where that ship disappeared, they go and they zoom in on it. Guess what they see? There's the ship again. Yeah, I don't expect anyone to believe a word I'm saying, but I'm hoping that some people will have the fortitude to kind of research this stuff themselves, and you'll see why there's thousands of people, probably per day now, starting to look into this stuff and discovering the lies. NASA astronauts twice in the last 10 years or so, two times they've almost drowned. You can verify this stuff yourself. Look it up and Google it. 2 times they almost drowned. That's a little strange, right? Up in space. Where's all that water? Well, I know where there is water. They have an exact replica of the ISS in a freaking pool. Now, I do know people drown in pools. It's funny, there's bubbles in space too, supposedly, because on the videos of the ISS, you will see bubbles. You guys got to do the, you got to look into this stuff yourself. But I got a YouTube channel, I got paperwork over there that has different YouTube channels they're kind of like my approved ones, because there's a lot of fraud ones, and I'll tell you why. If you Google flat Earth, you know what results you get? You get results that debunk flat Earth. If you search on YouTube flat Earth, you get videos that debunk flat Earth. What are they so afraid of? Why are they burying the videos that support flat Earth? Why? Right? So few people. If it's such weak evidence, why they gotta bury it? If you want to look, I'll give it to you. It's interesting stuff. Do you believe in God? You want to see some crazy stuff? Do you read the Bible or not? In the Bible, literally says, yes, the world is established. It shall never be moved. Shall never be moved. Also, again, the devil this is with Jesus, I believe, and he goes on with Satan, and the devil took him to a very high mountain and showed him all the kingdoms of the world and their glory. How do you do that on a ball? How do you go on a mountain and see on the underside of a ball? You with me, brother? Amen. Oh man, peace. I love you. I got paperwork there if you want to, stay. Oh, by the way, would you ever want to come out with me and join me and wake people up?
Well, I'm not from around.
Oh, you're not. Okay.
But we doing that. We doing
oh, you're awesome. Sweet, brother. So anyway, you guys got any questions? No? You guys think you live on a ball?
Doesn't affect me.
Yeah.
I don't care.
You don't care? No. You don't care if people lie to you? Okay,
you ever think there's
that's
like
fine.
A third option? It's not flat, it's not round, it's like a parallelogram or something?
When you get into the realm of when you start talking whether this is a hologram or not, now you're completely into another realm of thought where at that point, I feel this is real to me. Now, maybe it's a hologram, right? I can't prove otherwise, but I'm going to stay within my reality. And my reality, I have never seen water stick to a spinning ball in my entire life. Ever, except in NASA photos, which happen to be all composites. If you look on NASA's official NASA page, they're not one singular photo. They are composites, which are also known as CGI, correct? So, there's, you had 2 astronauts almost drown in space. You see bubbles in space. You see astronauts with harnesses. How much freaking evidence do you need before you start going, maybe these people are lying to me? Well, why does it matter, right? Well, they do take $53 freaking million per day from us slaves, right? But who cares about the people who are starving, right? Who gives a shit about them? Let's not worry about $53 million, what $53 million a day could do. I'm with you. I agree. Who cares? I got my money. I don't need to worry about anybody else. Right? Is that how you guys want to live? I don't want to live that way, man. Not me. But you guys can do whatever you want, everyone does. That's why I get laughed at. See that picture there? Yeah. There's no gate. Or no, I'm sorry, there's no fence. You see, there's a gate there for those sheep. There's a gate. There's no fence. So what do sheep do? They follow. They don't think for themselves. Because if they thought for themselves, they wouldn't go freaking wait in line to get through a gate when there's no freaking fence stopping them. Don't be a sheep. Don't be a sheep. How do you know you live on a spinning ball? I'll tell you how you know. Because when you're 4 or 5 freaking years old, you sat in class, they showed you a globe with water on it.
It's fucking round.
Okay, brother. And they show you that. They show you that globe at age 4 or 5, and now boom, presto, you live on a globe. So. I got paperwork there if you guys want, and I understand if you're not.
Got paperwork, research.
Yeah. Well, no, I actually I have some stuff that like a little bit of help because YouTube buries these videos, man. They're not showing it. Why are they doing that? Why? Look, dude, you could practice. You could do it right now. You Google flat Earth, and you will see you're gonna get results that debunk flat Earth. It's kind of weird. Why does their algorithm not show you the stuff you're looking for in flat Earth? Yet if you Google like best tennis player in the world, you're gonna get the best tennis player, right? Huh. Believe what you want to believe, guys, because that's what you're gonna do anyway. And I don't want you to believe me. Prove me wrong and let me get me off this freaking boardwalk so I don't stand here with a sign looking like an idiot, you know? But it's a lot to take in, but I would hope you guys had the power. Just talking with three guys before. I'm like, you guys know the Boston bombing was a hoax, right? Because they were kind of awake. They started laughing. Dude, the Boston bombing, you remember that guy Jeff Bauman with the freaking no legs, right? Well, there's a photo of him with no legs on a graphic, right? I couldn't even look at that photo because it was too gross for me. I was like, oh, I watched it. I believed it at the time, right? Well, the guy has no legs, he's sitting in a wheelchair, right? The only problem is we don't use our brains because we use our emotions when we analyze stuff. Well, once I woke up, I took another look at that photo. Problem with that photo is this guy has no legs. They were just blown off about a minute and a half prior. There's not a single freaking drop of blood coming out of either of his legs. There's not even a drop of blood on the pavement below him. Now here's the problem. I made a video where I show you a UFC fight. Guy gets an elbow to the head. He's bleeding so bad, he looks like a freaking stuck pig squirting out everywhere, right? So wait a second. You can bleed from your freaking little cut on your head and you lose both your legs and you don't have no fucking blood coming out of you? You've been lied to, guys. Sorry, I'm losing it with you guys, but when you learn this stuff, I didn't sleep for 3 weeks. I was 46 years old when I finally woke up. Don't be me. Don't be me. Don't be a sucker. Because I was a sucker. And I'm sick of it. That's why I'm out here. And that's why I can get laughed at by, I don't care if every single person on this boardwalk laughs at me. I don't give a shit. Because one person, I wake one person up, I did my job. Peace.
Good stuff.
Thank you. I do have paperwork there. Help yourself if you want to take in. There should be 1,700 feet of Earth curvature hiding that skyline, yet there it is, clear as day. Where's the curve, right? How about people zooming in on boats? How you doing, brother?
It's a disc, brother.
Oh, you're with me? Oh, God bless, man. I get a little bit more energy when I meet my brothers, sisters. Looking for volunteers for a brain teaser game, if anybody wants to play. So I have the whole kit up now. Got that. I got my sheep. There is no fence, only the gate. And then, of course, our trusty Bible verses, of course, that I spelled wrong. Yeah, because I'm not a very good speller, but that don't matter. And then I'm holding my famous, infamous Earth is Flat banner. The one that everybody loves the most. They love this one, right? There it is. Anybody want to play a little brain teaser with me? We can see the Chicago skyline 50 miles across Lake Michigan. There should be hidden by 1,700 feet of Earth curvature. Yet we can see it clear as day. That's strange, right? I've got more, lots more. Anybody have an idea how fast you're spinning right this moment? Approximately 1,000 miles an hour at the equator, you're spinning. While we circle the Earth at 66,000 miles, or we circle the sun at 66,000 miles an hour. While the sun hurtles through space at 500,000 miles an hour. That's how fast you're moving right now, brother. It's not. It's all a lie. Have you looked into it, sir?
You saying that Earth is flat?
Yeah, man. That's 100% what I'm saying. There's a lot of other people who are coming to that conclusion, too. Have you looked into it at all?
Yeah, I heard it.
Yeah. Well, one of the big ones that started me off on this freaking nightmare of a ride, because that's what it is when you start investigating this stuff, started finding out about all the lies. We can see the Chicago skyline from across Lake Michigan. It's 50 miles, okay? Distance. Over a distance of 50 miles, there should be 1,700 feet of expected Earth curvature. You follow what I'm saying? Well, tallest building in Chicago is the Sears Tower, clocks in at 1,700 feet. Not only can you see that in all its entirety almost, you can also see neighboring 200, 300 foot buildings. You shouldn't be able to see them beyond 1,700 foot curve, right? Follow that? All right, guy on the news.
Earth ain't flat.
Well, I'm giving him my reasoning right now. There's a few more, but there's tons actually. So the guy in the news tells you what you're seeing is a mirage. The only problem with that is a guy named Robski that took his video camera and he rented a boat. He gets 50 miles away. He happens to see, can see that mirage again, right? Well, he goes from 50 miles away all the way until the city's right in front of his face while videotaping. So was it a mirage? And if it wasn't a mirage, where's the curve, right? What people are now doing is they're taking your video camera. Have you ever heard of the idea where you can sail over the where the ship sails over the horizon, beyond the horizon, and it disappears? Have you heard that? Like when it disappears. You know what I mean? When it well, they say that it's disappearing because of the curvature of the Earth. Well, people are grabbing their People are grabbing their they're grabbing their video camera again and zooming in on a ship that disappeared, and boom, guess what? There it is again. NASA's a bunch of liars. What's up, guys?
I'm back.
You're back?
I did some research.
The moon landing's fake.
100% moon landing's fake. Yeah, 100%, 110%. You can actually, they have in one of it, they're talking about how it was strange that they could hear the hammering. You can hear the guy hammering the pole into the moon. The only problem is that you shouldn't be able to hear anything when you're in a vacuum, guys. There's no air for the sound waves, right?
Yo!
Yeah, look this stuff up yourself, by the way.
That's crazy.
Paperwork.
Move out of the way. That's actually true. He wants to take a picture. Sir.
Well, it's a vacuum. I mean, they're for the moon. I'm not. You know what? I don't even know. But you're not supposed to be able to hear it. They say even the astronauts themselves, the astronaut live. There's another video where hey guys, careful please.
Why does this look circle like this?
That's really weird.
Well, I really don't see a curve. Like there's a guy who does a met. What he did is he tied two wires, pole to pole, and he made that wire one wire, pole to pole, right? And he tightened up that wire. Look at that, look at that. He tightened up that wire so that it was, super tight and straight. Then he took his camera and ran it along the horizon. There is no curve over a distance of 30 miles. Over a distance of 30 miles, you should have 600 feet of curvature expected. Now, I think you would see 600 feet of curvature over that distance if, compared to a wire that was dead straight. It ain't there, man. There's so many videos. I don't expect anyone to, talk to me and believe the Earth is flat. But what I am looking for is people who are open-minded and are ready to investigate for themselves.
What if you're on the bottom of the Earth? You should fall off.
Who said anything about a bottom? I didn't. Do you guys believe in God? Do you believe in God?
Yes.
No. Okay.
Yeah, God said in the Bible that He made Earth round.
Well, actually, it's a circle of the Earth, but this is going to be a little allergic. You're going to be allergic to this one because that's how I used to be. I was an atheist, and I used to when I heard people talk about God, I was like, what is wrong with this person? Why are they so stupid?
I didn't believe in God means I don't trust God. People do anything. I don't know if it exists or not, but I don't trust.
No, that's fine. That's fine, right?
No.
So, but it did.
God is our.
Well, what happened for me is I didn't believe in all that stuff, but I did believe in the Big Bang. I did believe in evolution.
Crazy.
The only problem is I really couldn't prove evolution any better than I could prove God. I believed it, right?
Yeah.
And that's what most people do. They're believing evolution. They're believing Big Bang. You can't prove it. You're not proving anything.
It's not flat. How'd they come up with that theory? The Big Bang.
The Big Bang. Well, that's a good question, and I honestly don't know. But what it does do is if you have a Big Bang and you believe that the Earth came and that something came from nothing, you kind of don't need that God. And that was my belief. So I was like, why do I need a God? Why? There's no God. It conflicts with the
Earth
Bible.
is not flat. It was like you are.
Upon learning.
Who created the God? Do you believe in God?
All right, yeah. Well, check this out. This is kind of cool.
We'll be back. We're gonna go win some.
All right, guys. Good talking with you. Keep investigating. Keep an open mind.
That's actually right. NASA just lied.
Good for you, man.
How do you know? Like, why are you talking about?
Give me 1 second, guys. I got a trick question for you. Ready?
You're just like the sheep that you're calling us.
Spicy.
All right. Does anyone here think that a book can pop into existence right here out of nowhere and can pop into the printing?
Yes.
The ink. If you're not gonna be serious, then I'm leaving. The ink, the words, everything, right?
Yeah, no,
it can come into existence
someone has to write it.
Right. It needs a creator, right? Okay.
I don't know.
God is the Earth's created
I mean,
God is.
have you ever seen
Yeah, but what created Earth?
into existence from nowhere?
Yes, so what created Earth?
Excuse me?
No, not creation. It's just a transformation.
So what created Earth?
Well, my point is that
Can I say something to the viewers?
hang on, guys. My point is this: is that our DNA actually has coded instructions that instruct our cells how to build us. Right? Scientists scientists out there call DNA the book of life because it is literally a book of instructions.
It's a book of
So my point being is that it's kind of hard to hold those two beliefs now. If you don't, and you don't really hold that. For me, I didn't believe that a book could pop into existence from nowhere. And so when I heard this guy say, well, you know, a book can't pop into existence from nowhere, why would I then say that our DNA can then pop into existence without a creator also?
Yeah, what
And that's kind of, right, who created the DNA? Good,
can I
good for
say
you,
something to the
you're thinking
viewers?
that. Yeah, go for it.
Alright, shout out.
Right.
Our DNA came
Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Yeah, you have a good question, right? That's been my bugger too, man. And I'm with you. I still struggle with
taking a shortcut, right? Okay, yeah,
But,
that's something.
but the thing is what happens if God always existed? What happens if God always existed?
And he's immortal.
And that you know, it could be. Are you a flat earther? Are you with me? I think he might be. I don't know. I don't know.
Excuse me, sir.
Oh, you are, brother.
Yeah, but even
Good
if
for
God,
you, man. Yeah.
but what if,
Thank you, brother.
but what if God isn't real? Then
They're
wouldn't that make
few and far between.
I'm recording? Daddy.
Yeah, we're going. All right, guys, give me a minute because I
have a
want to
question
come back in a little while.
about-
Well, please.
Wait, can I
Drive me nuts.
This question, I mean this picture.
Shout out to my Twitch channel, Joey_Surge, JOEY_SURGE.
All right.
Go check it out.
I'll put that
I
on.
stream Fortnite.
How do we know
give me
that,
1 second,
that
guys.
900
picture
plus,
is not
900
It might even be a Photoshop. It's more the point. Hold on 1 second, guys. Yeah.
See, my friends code for GPS devices, okay?
Yep.
And their code is pure maths, right? And
Yep.
they use a three-dimensional, GPS locator thing, right? For
Yep.
example, you need to have at least 3 satellite signals from 3 satellite.
Yep.
And
What
they
about
should be in a
3D?
and all their correction is based on the curvature of the Earth,
Yeah.
right? If they make a small mistake in that, GPS wouldn't work, right? So if the Earth is not circle, their
come back
math
in
is
a
wrong. But I'm sure their math is not wrong.
Right.
So obviously it has to be a sphere.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if I would say that proves it because what happens if those if our information isn't actually being transmitted through those satellites and that
There's nothing transmitted from that. That's a big, people think
Okay.
that you are communicating.
No, I know that. No, I know.
All it does is all it does is you get time pulses from the satellite. That's
What
all
do you
you
get from it?
Time pulses. Like it says, okay, 5 o'clock from there, 5 o'clock from there, 5 o'clock from another satellite. Right?
That's what.
And then
So
you
we have
compare.
20,000 satellites in the sky just to keep track of time.
No, there are other things. I mean, for the GPS purpose,
Yeah.
it's not even time. It just sends the same pulse,
Yeah.
and then you compare. Okay.
You know,
what is
I
the
think
dif-
that's an excellent point, dude. I'm not even going to even go near trying to refute that.
I think you should research that.
Well,
it won't work.
Well, no, I'm with you, but the problem is this, though. The problem is that I can't prove those satellites are up in space, and neither can you, right?
I can.
So
because my friends work in defense, and my friends work
Right.
even in India. They work in rocket science.
Yeah.
They launch rockets.
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
I mean,
Yeah.
these guys are my
Yeah, I see, and I believe, they're launching something, right? So I'm with
Not
you.
launching something. Okay, they program it, they track it.
Yeah.
I mean, they continuously
Well, that's what
monitor
that's.
it.
But I mean, so you don't
And
think
you
there would be a
can't-
way that there could be a computer
That cannot be manipulated,
that simulates
because they are the
everything
brain.
that is supposed to be happening when they're up in there, right? You don't think that there could be a computer that is set up on the Earth that simulates everything that is supposed to happen when they're up there? You don't think so? You think it's impossible?
It's impossible
All
because
right, that's maybe you're right. But the problem is, again, though, is that there's so many other things that take place that, like, just do you trust the government?
I mean, I don't trust anyone for sake of
Good for you, man. Right. So we know people lie. I lie. I've lied in my past. I still lie today, and I try not to. But we know people are we're liars, right? What I found is it's not just flat Earth. It's not like flat Earth. I'm out here for flat Earth. I don't know, maybe to snag people this way, because, you know, I could put on here, Holocaust is a hoax, okay? That's my belief. I've looked into it. Have you looked into that?
Yeah.
Have you done the math? It doesn't work.
I mean, I know it could. It need not be on this side or this side. It could be somewhere in the middle. That's what I say.
Right. But my point is, yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, absolutely. People died, no doubt, right? But did they die in gas chambers? I don't think there were any gas chambers.
I mean,
I'm not afraid to talk about this stuff, by the way.
Yeah.
So my point though is that so there's that. Then you look into our like in the United States, our whole birth certificate system, and how birth certificates are actually a contract that your parents unwittingly sign you up for. So there's so many things that I've come to learn that stuff that I wasn't told, and they don't tell you, that seems to make sense when you start to put the pieces together, you know. And flat Earth seems to fit in with those pieces for me. I'm not now, so that's why, like, if you have this, you know, you have a great argument against flat Earth, and I think that's great because I can't disprove it, and I think it's a logical argument that you place. The only place where you lose me really again though is that I don't think you or I can prove that those satellites are up in space, and that's where you know, where you're putting a belief, just like I have to believe in God because I really can't prove. So, but can I when you take video of a city that you shouldn't see, that should theoretically be a skyline, that should theoretically be hidden behind this so-called curvature that it has to be there. Now we're starting into a world of, well, why is that happening, right? Why are we seeing? And we can test that ourselves a number of different ways. You know,
how do you explain? How do you see them? You know, this thing, eclipse. You know, circular image in of moon.
I believe there is a flat Earth explanation, but I will tell you this: I don't even think there's that good of a model. There is not that like 100% model that explains the flat, like everything that we see happening. But the problem is, there's also a lot of anomalies that take place in the sky that shouldn't be happening. Parallax. Have you looked into parallax and why there is no parallax in the stars? And parallax is when, you know, when you're driving and you should see the stars in the background. Things further away should be moving more slowly than things that are closer. That doesn't occur in the stars in the sky.
I got a question.
Yes, sir. Excuse me, 1 second.
You believe the Earth is flat, right?
I do, yes.
So why, when people get on planes, they end up in the same spot when they go all the way around?
Right.
Why don't they just fly into space?
Yeah, I gotta get a new model, that way people can see it. But if you imagine going on a cul-de-sac, and you know how if you go on a cul-de-sac and you just drive around the cul-de-sac and you end up right in the same place. Well, it's flat, right? And if you had around that in the center of that cul-de-sac, if you had a bunch of, imagine if it was water, right, and it was a kiddie pool. So if you in that kiddie pool in the center, you had a bunch of continents, and those were the continents, little islands. You could, and there was a ring of water around those continents. You could theoretically sail around the world with on a flat surface.
Yeah, but that's this way,
right?
Whereas the Earth is going this way.
But when you're on,
it's spherical. It's not.
There's a. You can look up Captain Cook. He's a guy in like the 1800s, and he sailed for 60,000 miles supposedly. Who knows whether it's true? But he logged 60,000 miles sailing next to a giant ice wall. That's what they say that we live within, is a giant ice wall. Did you know that the Antarctic Treaty? There's an Antarctic Treaty that was made in 1959, and it's been in effect ever since 1959. That has made it effectively like a militarized zone. It's off limits for exploration. You can't go there. Okay? So there's a lot of evidence that starts to pile up, like, why is this that case? I mean, here it is. Who the heck wants to explore the Antarctic region anyway? I'm not getting in a boat and doing it. I wasn't planning on doing it, right? No, who is doing it? And now all of a sudden they got to protect it from what? From like 5 people who want to go there that are going to trash the place?
So
get the heck out of here.
Why has it never been any reports of boats just flying off the
Well, I suspect there's
just flying into space.
No, check this out. You can Google Admiral Byrd, right? Admiral Byrd did a massive military exploration to check the Antarctic region, and they were out there, and supposedly he found lands that were unexplored. He found land that was not even cold, water that was warm water in the Arctic region. They don't tell you about this. You can Google it yourself. You have to do the work yourself. Don't believe a word I say. But he also, supposedly, I think during that mission, a plane crashed into something that they didn't expect it, and then they got their stuff together and they got the heck out of there. They never went back. And then that's shortly thereafter, I think, is when they made that a militarized zone, according to the Antarctic Treaty. So there's so much evidence that piles up that you start making you question things. Twice again, folks, people have almost drowned in space. 2 times, NASA astronauts almost drowned in space. They have an exact replica of the ISS in a pool. We can see bubbles in space. If you type in bubbles in space, flat Earth on YouTube, you'll see videos of bubbles in space. You can see videos of harnesses being used by these so-called astronaut freaking liars, because that's what I believe they are. You can see the astronauts glitch out. In another video, there's 3 astronauts. It's a lie.